And we unpack this further with SABC News economics editor Tshepo Mongoai. So let's dissect this MPC decision, Tshepo. Was it a surprise or was it expected?
Well, you never quite know, but widely among economists, it has been widely expected that the Reserve Bank is likely to wait and see, assess the situation. Although there are signs that we are starting to see inflationary pressures broadly in the economy, emanating mainly, as you've seen with the consumer price inflation that came out yesterday, that the pressure points are with regard to transport as well as food. But what is heartening, or what is good for us, is that mainly because the food pressure points emanate from the general commodity prices that we are seeing that have been going up in recent months, and many are saying that perhaps this could be a temporary thing, but widely we were expecting that, you know, the Reserve Bank was going to pause.
So we're saying that consumers can breathe a little bit easier, but as you mentioned, the CPI figures going up. So what is the reality here?
Well, the reality is that those increases are hitting consumers directly. You know, there's no doubt about it. With the transport costs, you've seen the price of petrol, and it's starting to show in many areas of our economy. The food price, we've seen one example of oil and fats, where there's been a massive increases over 6% on that particular item. So there are prices that are starting to creep up. What is good is that most of administered prices are usually adjusted annually, and there we have not seen much pressure. But should we see more pressure emanating from most of the administered prices, we might see generalized inflationary pressures starting to show themselves up in the economy. But so far, the Reserve Bank is actually saying that the Reserve Bank, it seems to be well contained going forward. They do expect it to remain anchored within its target range of 3 to 6%. They are targeting the midpoint of around 4.5%, and they do expect that it will remain around about there for quite some time.
So let's frame this in layman's terms. I mean, we always assume that when we say to people that the MPC has sat down and made a decision, first of all, that it's unanimous, but how they come about the decision. So just school us a little bit on this.
Well, the monetary policy committee it's a product of the monetary policy. It's the law of this country. It's in terms of statute, it's regulated. It comprises of the internal staff members of the South African Reserve Bank. Mainly it's chaired by the governor. The deputy governors are part of that committee. It's about 7 members. The part of it also comprises of the research unit within the Reserve Bank. So they take about 2 days going through a slew of economic data, presentation, that usually, you know, they have to scrutinize very closely, and then on the last day they will sit and they will decide and if whether, you know, it's a cut or it's a hike, and then it can be in a form of a vote, although the governor usually say that, you know, he doesn't want to share, I mean, who said what, who voted in favor of what, but then eventually, if there is a deadlock, the vote of the governor will actually break that deadlock.
All right, thanks a lot, Tshepo. Tshepo Mongoai is SABC News economics editor.